You are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin.
What is going down? What is going down? It is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. Welcome to the show, guys. If you're new to the podcast, welcome to the show. If you're into anime, nerd culture, and most importantly, video games, you come to the right place because we talk about all of that shit here. This is podcast episode number 355, and it's not a very long show today, guys, but I am going to talk about a few things here. Okay, I'm going to talk about my anime watch list, of course, which I try to do every week for you guys. Also, I have an update on Dragon's Dogma 2, which should be nice and juicy. Also, some layoffs and some talk around these video game streets when it pertains to Sony. Okay, yes, Sony. And I can't wait to dive into that because people are talking shit and about pretty much the industry in general. And I want to, give you guys my 2 cents on that. Also, another PS3 update, believe it or not. Yeah, PS3 has an update. I'm going to get into that as well. And then what I've been playing lately too, kind of a surprise. And I want to talk to you guys about that as well. So without further ado, let's begin the show. I want to start with my anime watch list. Typically do that every episode. It's kind of the first thing I kind of like to do now, with the, podcast. And I'm currently watching one that goes by the name of The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic. Now, this one was actually recommended to me by my daughter, who is kind of now starting to dip her feet a little bit deeper into the anime scene. Okay. And that's always a good thing. There's so much good shit out there to watch, guys. And she recommended that to me. I was having a phone conversation with her and we were talking about stuff we were watching and she mentioned that one. So I immediately just, while I was on the phone with her, went ahead and into my Crunchyroll account and saved it and said, you know what, this would be a good day to start this. So I think I started this one the other night, like maybe a day or two ago. And I actually watched a couple episodes before recording this podcast, which is a good thing, man. Yeah, it's pretty good, dope little anime. It's about 3 students and, going on in their daily life. 2 of them are really popular. Actually, 2 of the most popular kids in the school. One is a female, one is a guy. And then the other guy, who is just the main protagonist, is just a run-of-the-mill kind of background character type of guy. He even describes himself as that. Those aren't my words. Those are his. And all of a sudden they walk home from school on a rainy day and they start, interacting with each other and finding out that, what they initially thought of one another was actually not so true. Okay. And, I'll let you guys figure out what that is. But anyway, it started off really cool and they ended up, something strange happened. They ended up being summoned into another world. Okay. There's a shit ton of anime that has this backdrop where, you have students or kids or whatever get summoned to another world. And I don't know, man, I really like these anime. I just really do. And, no wonder they do these all the time and they're so popular. But yeah, that's how it starts. And, he's basically trained. He has a magic ability. Okay. Really all of them do, but he ends up being, I guess, one of those guys, one of those rare people who actually has a superior version of that magic, so he can heal and do all kinds of shit. So like I said, I'm early on in it. I don't want to give too much of this stuff away. Just check it out. It's a pretty good one. It's still fresh and new because I think it is only like 7 episodes as of this recording out. So it's still got some time. So just be looking out for that one. Okay. Now that I got that out of the way, I'll also talking about anime real quick. Also been watching Solo Leveling, of course. And man, that shit is so addicting. I went ahead and started reading the manga a little bit. And man, I'm really, really digging that one. So hopefully, you know, I'll find out a little bit more on that. But yeah, definitely the manga is awesome. I can't wait for the anime. Like I said, episode, I think 8 just came out. 7.5 was the episode before that, which is like basically like a rehash episode. I don't know why they did that. It makes no sense. Maybe they were doing that because they needed to save time and they knew they had some things they had to work on for the actual episode 8. And, you know, they were kind of going off the cuff, going with the flow. That's how it is at a lot of these anime studios. You know, something happens, there's a snag in the production, and they have to think on their feet. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. We'll probably find out about that episode 7.5 well after the anime is over with, you know, with maybe some sort of special, you know, that you can tend to find on some of these YouTube channels and stuff like that. When you deal with some of these studios and they kind of let you into their house and show you how everything goes down. You know, a lot of these don't want to do that because if you know anything about a lot of these anime studios, man, they're fucking sweatshops. So hopefully they're not doing that there. But anyway, I digress. Moving on to the next lecture at hand, I want to talk about Dragon's Dogma 2. I got some little news for you guys, some rumors, some whispers, whatever you want to, however you want to call it, whatever, you know, you want to kind of look at it as. But I don't know about you guys. I'm just very, very excited. And as more time goes by, I get more anxious, and I cannot wait to play this game. I'm a huge fan of the first Dragon's Dogma. If you guys don't know, if you're new to the show, man, I have it on PlayStation 4. I have it on the Switch. I just love this game. This is like one of those gems. Okay. And there has never been another RPG, action RPG, in my opinion, like this, like the formula that Capcom was using with this. And they're not shying away from it with this next rendition. And the more and more videos that I see of this, the more I get excited. Okay. The vocation classes are stupid. They're ridiculous. And they have so many more. It looks like they're going to be adding to this game here. There's just, this game here is going to be that sleeper hit. I think that a lot of people who aren't familiar with the first Dragon's Dogma are going to find this one. They're going to go back and find the other one, try to hunt down the first one. And it's just going to become one of those RPGs that everybody just loves. Okay. And I know it's early in 2024, but this one is definitely going to be on a lot of people's radars. I have a feeling that it's going to be on a lot of people's radars as far as Game of the Year talk. I definitely see that this game could definitely be nominated. And this is just off of straight previews. Okay. Not of anything else. I'm just really excited about it. We got the RE engine running this game. It's going to be very interesting to see what goes down. And like I said, it's a single player game. It's an action RPG. It's like third person. I mean, guys, this is my wheelhouse. This is exactly what I want. And then you have a unique system with the pawn system and how that stuff works. And they're adding on top of that. If you're not familiar with Dragon's Dogma, go ahead and give yourself some education. You can see plenty of videos online on YouTube and get you caught up. You don't have to play the last one to play this one, but just knowing the history, knowing how the game kind of works and all those things, it's going to be a great experience. I really, really think it's going to be an awesome experience, but I'm excited for it. As far as the news is concerned, guys, everybody's been talking about these demos. Okay. I think I mentioned it last week, but I'm going to mention it again. We want a demo. We need a demo. And if there's any indication that from what Capcom has done in the past, we're going to get another demo with this game. And the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of talk in the streets. There's been some people data mining and things of that nature, especially on the PC side. That's my phone. I should have turned it off. But anyway, they've been data mining on the PC shit. And basically, There's a term that they use when it comes to demos. I can't think of the actual term now, but it's being used with this game. It's being associated with this game on Steam right now. So that's going to give most people an indication that, yeah, we're going to get the demo here for that. And then if you look at the history of Capcom games, they always drop demos. Okay. Think of it like this. Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 and 4 all had demos. And not just them. There's other games, including Monster Hunter, and so on and so forth. So all of these games, Devil May Cry 5 had a demo as well. And all of these demos came out 2 weeks before the actual game came out. So think about that. Because if you're wondering, like I was at first, the game comes out in 3 weeks. Where's the demo? Well, if you think about it, right around the 8th of March, which is, I think, going to be a Thursday or something like that, we should be getting news, or we should be getting a demo. That's about the 2 week time frame of which when the actual game will come out. So be looking, be checking, and you know what I'm saying, you should find a demo probably somewhere around between, I'll say, like the 6th and the 8th, guys. We should be getting a demo for this game, and that'll be about 2 weeks before the initial game releases. They've done it with every other game for the most part. They even did it with the first Dragon's Dogma. Okay, so I think we're in for a treat. I think they know what they have here. And I think they want as many people to kind of get a taste of it, especially all the newcomers who've never played the first Dragon's Dogma, to really get an idea of how this stuff is going to play. And like I said, the vocation system alone is going to be enough to pull in, you know, most avid RPG players. Okay. I've seen so many YouTubers, so many people talk about this game who didn't really know about the first Dragon's Dogma or never played it. And they are very, very stoked to play this, man. And they should. Okay. They really should, because it's a special game. It's a special series, and Capcom doesn't make a lot of action RPGs. I mean, you can consider Monster Hunter that way, but it's different. Okay. This is a true open world RPG with a nice deep story, and it's going to have a lot of bells and whistles with it. Like I said, the vocation system is going to be stupid crazy, guys. You're going to be able to mix and match. You're going to be able to just specialize in certain things. It's going to get crazy. So I cannot wait. And usually when the demos come out, they usually they allow you to create your character. I can't remember if they let us do the pawn as well. I think we get to do both. I think we get our character and then we get our pawn, and then we can, that will roll over to the base game, right? So when the first Dragon Dogma game, it allows you to make your character. And then after that, you eventually get to a point in the game where you can actually create your pawn. Now, your first pawn is basically your right-hand man or woman. It's kind of like your Robin to your Batman. They go everywhere you go at pretty much the whole game. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean you have to use them the whole game, because you don't. You can actually leave them at the base, or you can even kill them if you want to. I mean, people have done that. So you can ride solo. You don't have to ride with a group of people, or you can. So that first pawn is going to be there with you for the majority of the reason. So it's really important that you make sure the class you select for them is a class that's going to kind of, fit well with you. In other words, maybe some of your weaknesses on the, what you want to specialize in, at least starting out, you want to pick something opposite of that, so that they can kind of fill in those spots, of the weak spots that you have. So maybe if you're a guy who is, you want to be a warrior and you want to be, all the way up, always in the face of the enemy, then you probably want something like a mage or a sorcerer to kind of, sit in the back and cook up shit and use it and heal you, when, shit like that is called for. So it's, like I said, it's going to be dope. And then you can actually have up to 4 people in your party. So then eventually, you can go and hire people to ride with you, to travel with you, things of that nature. They can do all kinds of things, not just fighting. They can be used to hold valuable items, because a lot of these items you have, they're going to be pretty heavy and you don't want them on your person. They'll slow you down and so on and so forth. So you may need one dedicated guy to fight when need be, but at the most time, he may be a glorified, or she may be a glorified hauler, you know what I mean? Or somebody like that just carries your things for you, because in this game, there's going to be a huge emphasis on those type of things. There's going to be a camping kit, which wasn't in the first game, which basically allows you to put up a camp and heal yourself and recover, overnight. Okay. I think you can even do it in the daytime. But anyway, those come with different risks. They're heavy to carry. So, they take up space. Also, there's different tiers. So I guess earlier on you can get the smaller ones, and the smaller ones actually have, a decent amount of the probability that you may be attacked while you're sleeping and camping is higher as well. So there's a lot of things to consider that we don't know about as well when we talk about this game, but the stuff that we've heard of so far, it's just a lot. And it just makes me very, very happy, man. And I can't wait to play this. I'm just very excited, like a kid in a candy store. I cannot wait. It's going to be plenty of videos and clips and stuff like that with this game. I'm a huge Dragon's Dogma fan. So yeah, looking forward to this one, guys. And hopefully we get that demo. If we do, I'm going to be bringing it up to your attention next week, and I'll be discussing it, maybe have some pictures and some stuff on, what I created. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. I may be thinking one thing, and then when I start the game, it might change, but I got an idea, but I'll let that, marinate until we get to that point. But anyway, that's Dragon's Dogma 2 information right there. Now let's move on and let's talk a little bit about this Sony layoff, that everybody's talking about, which they've laid off, around 900 people. And that's about 8% of their, company as far as, the gaming side of things go. And that kind of sparked a conversation with a lot of these YouTubers who I kind of just laughed at when I read some of the thumbnails and stuff like that, which is like, hey, the gaming industry is in trouble. It's over. It's finally here, the end of the gaming industry and all these things. And when I, pulled back the curtain and listened to some of these people talk, and some of these guys I have great admiration and respect for, I had to basically tell them, look, I really fuck with you guys, but just please stop. Just stop the cap, please, because a lot of it is just nothing but cap. It's clickbait, and that's what YouTubers do a lot of the time. Their job is to get you to click on their shit, whether they're talking about something relevant or not. You're gonna want to be curious to hear what they have to say about certain things, and then when you find out halfway through the video, you find out that it's just a crock of shit, and it's false. It's a fucking fable, told at campfires. It's not real. And, most people with common sense is going to hear that and say, the gaming industry is just the end. What? Stop. Okay. It's $1 billion business. People are making millions and millions of dollars in this industry, regardless of them laying off people. If you dig a little bit deeper, guys, you will find that Sony was just in line with the rest of these companies, not just gaming companies, guys, who've had to lay off all of these people. And if you follow the paper trail and look at the numbers, 8% is about the same amount of what all companies have done. They're laying off about 8% of their staff. And this just goes beyond just video game companies. This is most companies, guys. We are kind of in a recession type of time frame right now with a lot of layoffs and stuff still going on. And this is a part of that. This is what's going on here. Everybody's sitting down, having a meeting at the round table, and they say, look, we've got to cut about 8% of our employees to save said numbers for our fucking shareholders. And that's what they've done. Everybody's done it. Microsoft, everybody. There's every company, most major companies have done this. They have laid off about 8% of their workforce, and Sony's no different. So, that's sad, that had to happen, but it's nothing new. People were saying, oh, it's over for Sony. I'm hearing all this shit. And I'm like, stop it, guys. Please just put the butter back in the refrigerator, please. Okay. The butter's beginning to melt. Let's take that off the table and put it back in the refrigerator. Okay. It's a false melting is what it is. It's not fucking real. All right. But yeah, that's what you see. And I just had to bring that up because, you may see videos like this. You may have seen them and you may continue to see them for, the months, to come. And that's, like I said, it's clickbait mostly. And that's what it is. So I think a big portion of that is the fact that during COVID, a lot of people were playing games. I mean, it took a super spike because everybody was stuck in the house and, they didn't have shit to do. So they were trying to find new hobbies and things of that nature. And that's when the video game industry, kind of really did well. And a lot of these companies overhired a lot of staff for a lot of things. And now that COVID's been over for a while and everybody's back to, working and not at home, basically now you're seeing the results of what's been happening, what's been taking place now. They're overpopulated, you know, they're bloated, a lot of these companies now, and they have to pull back. Okay, because not as many people are playing the games, and that's just how it goes, right? And now they have to go ahead and make some cuts. And it's just what it is. Games are not going to stop, though. I mean, the gaming industry is never going to die as long as there's electricity. It's not going to die, guys. The industry is too big. Okay. There's just too much money in it, and there's too many people who play them. You know what I mean? And it used to be one of those things that was taboo, and a lot of people didn't talk about it. And I'm talking maybe 20 years ago, but now it's like, yo, you're not cool if you don't play them in some shape, form, or fashion. So yeah, they're here to stay. Don't get carried away with this stuff. If you've heard it, if you've seen it, it's like I said, it's banter, and it's just a bunch of fuckery, and there's a lot of butter on the table. So just take it off the table, put it back in the refrigerator. Okay. Yeah. All right. Moving on from that, we're still on Sony. And I'm going to talk about the PlayStation 3 real quick. And the reason why I'm bringing that up, the PlayStation 3, is because they've done something. I guess I can't blame them technically, but in the same breath, I'm going to have to look at them kind of crazy, because it seems like they're trying to put butter back in stores. Sony's trying to put PlayStation 3 butter onto the shelves of your local grocery store. And I say that because apparently Sony has got a new update for the PlayStation 3 that you would think, oh, what are they going to allow? They're trying to help the PlayStation 3 players. No, that's not what it's for. It's basically an update to stop PlayStation 3 owners from modding their PlayStation 3s. Because now, think about it. Most PlayStation 3 owners, like myself, we don't have our PlayStation 3s online. Mine is in a box right now in storage. But if it was here and it was out, I would very rarely play it. I would be playing, you know, maybe like some PlayStation 3 titles, you know, physical games. The online capabilities of this is pretty much null and void. Yes, you can still go online with it now, and that's why they're trying to do what they're trying to do. But pretty soon you won't be able to even go online with it. But what they're trying to do is stop people from having a way to mod their shit so that you can play other PlayStation 3 games and you can do other things with it. And I think that's kind of shitty, because there's no use for it other than once they pull the kill switch. There's nothing else. They're basically saying, well, we don't want you pirating our games or finding ways to get other games, even though we're not going to support this system anymore. You know, Nintendo's been guilty of that too, where, you know, hey, there's old games that we're not supporting, but we still don't want you getting them anywhere else. And like I said, technically they have a right to do that because it's technically their IP, and I understand that. But at the same time, when we're talking about video game preservation and things of that nature, that's kind of like the shitty side of it all, you know, especially when you've paid your money and you own your PS3, you can kind of should be able to do whatever the fuck you want to do with it. So you're kind of torn in the middle with that. So if you do have a PS3 and you plan on modding it, or you never thought about it, but now you do want to do something like that, they're telling everybody to make sure your internet is off when you hook up your PlayStation 3, then go into the options and turn on online mode off. That way you can actually, you know, have your shit modded if you ever thought about doing that at one point or time. Because for me personally, the PlayStation 3 is still a DVD player. It's a Blu-ray player. So it's all those things still, it can be used for. You can hook your USB drive up to it and you can watch movies off of it, off your thumb drive and stuff like that. So it still has many functions, if you want to, besides even playing your older PlayStation 3 games on there. I think I have some games on there. I think I have like a Gundam game that's pretty dope that I love on there, and some other games too. Of course, I have the HD version of Shadows of the Colossus and Eco. It's like a double thing. And speaking about Eco, I really wish they would do a remake for Eco. They did it for Shadows of the Colossus. They should do it for Eco as well, man. I would love to see another Eco remake. If you guys don't know about that game, it's another classic from the people who made Shadows of the Colossus, which is one of the all-time favorites, one of the best games ever on PlayStation 2. Just a classic. They redid it on the PlayStation 4. It's an awesome game. It's one of my favorites, and the story is crazy, and I love that team. But anyway, that's me going off on a side tangent. The PlayStation 3 is still a great system. The thing that sucks about it though is you can't, it's not worth streaming the games. Okay. That's the chink in PlayStation's armor. If you're trying to, you know, if you're with their service, okay, if you pay their premium service every month, which is like $17.99 or something like that. If you pay that, and you know, you get like PS4 games, you get PS2 games. They're kind of feeding us these games slowly. You get some PSP games in there, so you get some of the classics, you know, woven in there. But the PlayStation 3 is the only tier of games that you cannot get because they don't have an emulator for it. You have to stream them. Okay. And if you know anything about streaming games, then you know that it's trash. Okay. You know that it's terrible. And I don't think it'll ever be where it needs to be. It's just not there yet on a technical aspect. And that's the chink in their armor, because there's a lot of dope PlayStation 3 titles, but we're not going to get to play them unless you can stream them, and nobody in their right mind wants to stream those games. Just try it. Give it a try. It's trash. It's utterly eye garbage, and you shouldn't do it. But my thing is, if you guys got people trying to make updates for the PlayStation 3, trying to get people not to fucking mod it, shouldn't you guys be working on a fucking emulator for that? How hard can it be? It must be extremely hard, because they have not found a way to do it, or they just don't have the resources or want to apply those resources to make that happen. Which, in my opinion, is kind of like counterproductive, because you are actually promoting PlayStation 3 games. You should be able to promote them the same way as you would do any of your other games, and make it as easy as it can be for a consumer to play them. Okay. Not streaming them. That means you have to be connected at all times to play it. Fuck all that. If I'm paying you that, I want to be able to download these games. I want to be able to play them like that digitally. Right. But they're not making that move. They're dragging their feet. I don't think it'll ever happen. If it hasn't happened now, it probably won't happen. Now, could I be wrong? Sure. But if I'm being honest, I don't see it happening, guys. I think they're going to just be lazy and stick to that and just say, fuck it. After enough time, people will forget, and they'll not give a fuck about PlayStation 3 anymore. You know what I'm saying? But if you do give a fuck about us, we still don't want you fucking with our own older games. So it's kind of like, yeah, whatever. So on that note, you know, I can say fuck Sony on that, and I'm a Sony guy. So if they're doing dumb shit, I'm definitely going to call them out for it. I don't care who it is as a company, right? Favorite company or not. So that's what Sony's been up to lately. And hopefully they can figure out a way to get us these PlayStation 3 games without streaming them. Okay. Last thing I want to talk about, guys, before I get up out of here with this short show today, is what I'm playing. And, you know, this game here, it was a Game Pass game. It recently just came out. I'm talking about Dead Island 2. Dead Island 2. Yes, this is a first person zombie killer experience, and my son put me on it. I spoke about it, you know, last week, maybe a little bit. Yeah, I spoke about it last week, and he's been playing the shit out of it. He beat the game. Now he's got some friends who've downloaded, and he's walking them through. So you can play online with other players. I've been playing with one of my best friends. We've been playing it periodically. It's a pretty fun game, man. I mean, I did not see it. I was just playing it to appease my son. So you know, he wanted to play it. Yo, cool, let's play it. And then I just like, yo, this is really fun. This is really fun. So I just started playing it on my own, and, you know, leveling up my character and doing my thing. And yeah, it's definitely, and I don't play a lot. You guys know me. The ones who know me, they know I don't play a lot of first person games. Okay. That's not my cup of tea, so to speak. You know, I like my third person kind of, games, like, you know, a lot of them out there, but this one here is pretty goddamn fun. The story looks pretty good, and it's nice, man. And you can join people's games and have people join yours. Up to 4 players, I think, I want to say, at one time on one map. So yeah, it's cool, man. I'm enjoying myself with it. And this is what I've been playing. This is the bulk of my time when I'm playing something, is this game here. And I know I've been saying I'm trying to get to Persona 3 Reload, and eventually I will, but you know, this is the one right here now. So until I get tired of this, or at least beat the story, I'll probably be playing the bulk of this. And then by that time, I may have a week, you know, or so to play, you know, to play that. And then I have to ask myself, do I really want to play that then? And because that game is what Persona, you know, we're talking 60, 70, 80 hours, you know, Persona 3, you know, easily 50 for sure. So like, do you really want to dedicate your time to that when Dragon's Dogma is right around the corner? And so it's like, okay, put that down again, Dragon's Dogma. And then after that, guess what's coming out? Guess what else is coming out? Rise of the Ronin the same day. So eventually I want to go there. That's also got online play. That's a Sony exclusive. Okay. I think you can play up to like 3 or 4 players there. So that's imagine that running around fucking people up on a Team Ninja game. Okay. Doing those things. And then after that, we're talking about April. Guess what? Guess what's in April? The game I told you about last week, Sandland, Akira Toriyama, his world. It's an RPG. It's a third-person action RPG. It's crazy. That's out. And then we're not even talking about Stellar Blade, which is coming out too around the same time on the 26th. So, I mean, April and March, man, they are stacked. And then summer, right after that, we've got a lot of games in the pipeline coming down. So it's a lot of shit going on, man. It is a lot of shit going on. So that's what I mean when shit starts to fall. It's like, yo, you got a limited amount of time. You got some games you want to play. And it's going to be like, hey, which one do you want to play more than the other? There's always going to be one that has more weight to it. And you're going to say, okay, I want to play these, but which one do I want to play more? And you're always going to go with that one you want to play more. Rise of the Ronin, Dragon's Dogma 2, Dragon's Dogma 2 first. All right. And then when I finish that, guess what? It'll be time, for these other games to come out. And then I'll have to pick between 3 games. Okay. Rise of the Ronin, Sandland, or Stellar Blade. And it's going to be Stellar Blade. Then I'm jumping on Stellar Blade. And then after that, then I still have those other 2 games, Rise of the Ronin and Sandland. And that's going to be a toss up. You know what I mean? Depending on who buys that. If I have friends who buy that and want to play, it may be Rise of the Ronin next, but then, I really like what Sandland is doing. So then you have that. And let's not even talk about all the other games that I missed up until this point. Okay. One in particular, we have, one that I've missed and I've been wanting to play is Alan Wake 2. That's another one. Okay. So you see what I'm saying here, guys? It's like, oh, it's crazy. I still haven't played Spider-Man 2. Like there's a lot of shit here. So they begin to stack up on you. You know what I mean? And then before you know it, it's like, well, you missed a lot of games. But the cool thing about that is you can circle back around. And when you have more time, guess what? A lot of these games are on sale now. Boom. You can get them on a discount. Bang. And then some of them come to Game Pass and all these things. So that's why I can't stay subscribed to a lot of this stuff. Game Pass is really good for that. They just have games that come out and boom, you're here. You know what I mean? And you didn't know, there's still Lies of P that I have to play. Like you see what I'm saying? I have it downloaded. It's just sitting there and I know I need to get to it because it's not going to be there forever. It's not going to be on Game Pass forever. So I'm like, yo, I need to go ahead and play it now, at some point before I turn around. And when I'm ready to play it again, oh, it's off there now. So now you have to go buy it and you have to whatever. So then it's not that bad. And hey, by that time, you can probably get it for $20, get it Black Friday or some shit like that. So there's always ways, there's always ways to, come up, and it's just, that's the beauty of the industry because they're not going to stop because you don't have time for them. They're going to keep coming. The release dates aren't going to change. They're going to come out. And when you get time, the ones that you thought you were going to play but couldn't play, you'll be able to play them for a discounted price and you'll be surprised and it'll be a good thing. So love being a gamer, love having games to play, love stockpiling games, love being a video game hoarder. That's what I do. Always shower myself with games. And, yeah, man, it's a beautiful life. So that's what I like. And it's simple shit, man. It's just like the simple stuff, like for me, I am so glad I am this simple. I'm simple and boring now. And that's just how I like it. Okay. A perfect afternoon for me would be a peaceful day, quiet day in the house, playing my favorite game currently. And after that, maybe laying down and, watching some nice anime and just leaning back and chilling. That is a perfect afternoon, for me. And it's nothing else. I don't like hiking. I'm not an outdoors person. I don't like those things. I don't like big crowds and shit like that. You know what I mean? I like like-minded individuals, people who I can relate to, which are guys like you. And I can have conversations with you guys for fucking ever, hours, you know what I mean? Talking about anime games and stuff like that. And it's that simple for me. There's nothing else that I need, okay, to feel fulfilled in my life. I don't know if that's bad or good, but to me, it's beautiful. Okay. There's a lot of people who, well, I guess, want to do more, want to see more, want to travel, want to do all these things. And, you know, maybe they can't, maybe they financially can't do it, or for whatever reason, they haven't been able to attain that. And, you know, that may suck for them. And I'm glad I don't have that. And I don't have that need or feeling now. Now it'd be like, yo, yeah, you love games, but you only have your cell phone right now because you can't afford any systems, and you know what I mean? That would be the equivalent to that, you know, for me. And I don't know how I would make it, man. That would suck. That would fucking suck. So I can't complain, guys. So with that being said, though, I want to thank everybody for coming out, downloading, streaming, listening to the show, guys, whether you're jogging in your bed, whether you're waking up on your way to work, or whether you're just cooking something in the kitchen and you're just listening to your podcasts. You know, thank you all for listening and sticking with me, all my long-term OGs out here. And then all the newcomers, hey, man, we do this every week, every Monday, same bat time, same bat channel. Hope to see you again next week and the week after that, and so on and so forth. So yeah, we do this. We talk about games. This was a short one, but you know, when we get news, hey, you know, I bring it to you, especially all the major stuff, and I'll continue to do that for you guys. I love you guys so much. I want to thank all of you for your support. Definitely check me out on my handles. Yeah, Studio MacGyver on Twitter. I call it Twitter. I don't call it X. Check me out at Studio MacGyver on Instagram as well. Also check out at Random Gameplay Pimpin on TikTok. And please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel at Random Gameplay Pimpin on YouTube. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to bow out gracefully. I want to thank everybody one last time. And I'll see you guys next week. This is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. See you next time.